All right, we are here now with live severe weather coverage for Jones County in South Dakota. We do have a destructive storm ongoing, producing baseball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. If you're in Murdo, you need to seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a building, away from windows, and in an interior room. All right, this is a destructive storm for portions of central Jones County in South Dakota. Again, if you're in this area, you need to get underground if you can. If you can't, just get into the middle of your house. Make sure that you are not near any windows. If you're out ahead of this thing, like in Murdo, you have time to bring your car inside the garage, bring your pets inside, because whenever you start talking about baseball-sized hail, that's where it can cause serious damage, and again, it can severely injure people and animals that are outdoors, right? So as you can see here, people and animals outdoors will be severely injured. Expect shattered windows, extensive damage to roofs, siding, and vehicles. This is a dangerous storm. Prepare immediately for large destructive hail capable of producing significant damage. People outside should move to shelter inside a strong building and stay away from windows. So, again, this is a PDS severe thunderstorm warning that we have in effect for portions of Jones County now. We're also watching our Midwest mode of storms to see when it's going to get going, but right now it's kind of being a lot slower than we thought it was going to be. Now, that does not mean that the storms are going to be any weaker than we thought they were going to be. It just means that they're starting up a little later, which is honestly not a good sign, because what that means is that there's going to be people asleep whenever these storms hit, all right? It was already going to be kind of the early nighttime hours whenever these storms were at their strongest, and now it's going to be kind of later in the night, so there's going to be folks asleep while these storms arrive. So if you are in the Ohio Valley tonight, make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts on hand, whether it's a wireless emergency alert on your phone, a NOAA weather radio works good, the sirens are obviously one way to get information, but that's whatever you need to do. You need to do it now. You need to prepare now, because, again, these are going to be nighttime storms that we're dealing with here that are going to be capable of producing destructive winds, tornadoes, and large hail, so look out for that. We also have some strong to severe storms in northeastern Alabama and northwestern Georgia that have been causing significant power outages. By the way, Franklin County, Tennessee, we had a considerable severe thunderstorm roll through there, and now 30% of the county, over 5,000 customers, are left without power. So that's the kind of destruction that we were talking about potentially seeing, and we did end up seeing that. It also had a report of trees being downed along Highway 269 just north of Ralph Broderick Road. That is in Tullahoma, Tennessee, or just the northwest of there. So, again, we've got ourselves a lot to cover. It's going to be a long night of severe weather coverage, so I hope you'll join me here for the ride. Again, we're starting off things hot with a destructive storm in Jones County, so we're going to continue to focus in on this. This does include Murdo, all right? I believe Murdo is the county seat here in Jones County, South Dakota. This includes portions of Interstate 90. If you're traveling along Interstate 90 in between Draper and Ocoton, it's time to get off, all right? We're going to see hail large enough to dent your vehicles, not just, crash your windshield, but dent your vehicles entirely, so you need to get off. All those gray colors in there, that is hail. We like to say that that's hail of quarter size or larger, so all of that in there is quarter size or larger. And again, at the core, we believe that we could be having hail up to baseball size, which is very serious stuff and very unusual for South Dakota here, but that's what we're seeing right now. So again, if you're in this area, we prefer you to be indoors and away from windows. A car driving on this interstate is probably one of the most dangerous things you could possibly be doing right now, because not only are we going to see large destructive hail that are going to dent cars most likely, but we're also going to have 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts, which is usually just enough in some instances to tip over semis. It's also going to reduce the visibility to absolutely none. So again, very dangerous situation here for everybody that is traveling in central Jones County right now. So again, try to get off the road if you can and find a shelter to get into. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect here for portions of the northern plains. Scattered damaging winds and isolated significant gusts to 75 miles per hour likely. Scattered large hail and isolated very large hail events to lime size and in diameter likely. Well, the hail is kind of overperforming here. They were saying up to lime-sized hail. We are already seeing baseball-sized hail. So this is very significant once again. If you're just not tuning in, the National Weather Service in Aberdeen has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Jones County in South Dakota. At 5:38 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near Ocoton, or 10 miles northwest of Murdo, moving east at 30 miles an hour. This is a destructive storm for Jones County. Hazard baseball-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. Again, you need to make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows at the very least. Again, we prefer you to be on the lowest floor possible, but if you can't get underground, Again, being indoors and away from windows is just as good. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of there for sure. We did just get 2 new severe thunderstorm warnings in Georgia, actually. Yes, we're talking about Georgia and South Dakota at the same time. Eastern Ben Hill County, you've got a new severe thunderstorm warning, and we've also got a severe thunderstorm warning now for portions of the greater southern Atlanta suburbs here, kind of the Hampton-Griffin area, Milner, all the way down towards Barnesville, alright? So this does have the tornado possible tag on it. We do, it appears that we do have some broad but potentially some strong rotation there near Brooks right now. So if you're in Griffin or Barnesville, make sure that you are getting indoors immediately. We got to watch that there as that progresses off to the south and the east. We're not expecting a tornado with that, but we can't completely rule one out, alright? So that's what we got going on right now. We're going to go ahead and zoom in on our destructive storm in Jones County. I'm going to go and pull up stream chat. If anybody has any questions about the location, feel free to leave those down below. I'll try to answer them accurately and honestly. But again, we are starting off this stream hot here. Again, this is one of the strongest storms we've seen all day. And again, now we've got some people tuning in. Again, for anybody just now tuning in, destructive PDS severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Jones County, South Dakota for baseball-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. Was there an unwarned tornado near Murfreesboro? Let's check it out. By the way, new severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This is for portions of northwestern Georgia here. The National Weather Service in Peachtree City has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Resaca and Ranger. Buena Vista, Georgia has a small couplet. Is that the storm that has the tornado possible tag? Hold on. Well, we got to take things one at a time here. Let me check out Murfreesboro first. There are a ton of reports of wind damage. Let's see here. Let's look at the past radar history here. Brief CC drop. When was this? This was 217. Okay. So, let's check velocities. So was it this? Oh, yep. So we did actually have that tornado there in Murfreesboro, for one scan at least, it looks like. Strong storms in North Georgia. I wonder if they will make it down to me by late tonight. Possible CC drop near Griffin. Let's check that out. If we had a CC drop, it would be closer to the Brooks area. I don't think that's a CC drop. We'll watch it for the next scan, but I don't think that's a CC drop. Because this also looks like pretty broad rotation in nature, but it could be. So we'll watch it on this next radar scan that we get in here. But for right now, let's go back up here to South Dakota. Again, a massive hailstorm now over Interstate 90. Holy cow, dude. Wow. Very, very significant hailstorm. Again, velocities are entirely messed up here. We're not going to get any good information from velocities. It is way too contaminated, but wow. That is, again, a very dangerous storm. I mean, that is just incredible. When was the last time we saw a hailstorm this big in South Dakota? It's been a little bit. It has. And we do now have a new severe thunderstorm warning, and it's another destructive for this storm. Alright, we have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning now for portions of central Millette County. If you're just now joining us, at 5:50 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Okoton, or 10 miles west of Murdo, moving southeast at 30 miles per hour. This is a destructive storm for Westover, baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. It also has the tornado possible tag. If you are in this severe thunderstorm warning, you need to get to a safe spot right now. In an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of here. We are going to be seeing baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts with this storm potentially. This is a very strong storm, a ridiculously strong storm. Again, this is crazy. I was not expecting to see something like this today, I'll be honest. Not up here in South Dakota, anyway. And again, we're not going to be able to get any meaningful data from velocities, but what we can see is some areas of it, an area of inflow there. So that's why this storm has the tornado possible tag on it. You're good, Sam. So, again, I mean, very dangerous storm here with baseball-sized hail. This is a very strong storm once again. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now. This is for portions of southern Todd County in South Dakota. This does include St. Francis, Spring Creek, points eastward towards Highway 83, and beyond that near Littleburg. So if you're in that severe thunderstorm warning, make sure you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. That's for 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts and half-dollar-sized hail. That is a very impressive hail core once again. I would warn that for, like, ping-pong ball-sized hail, but, National Weather Service's call, obviously. Wow. So, again, a lot of severe warnings now going out for portions of eastern Alabama and Georgia. Again, if you're just now tuning in, we are watching a significant severe weather outbreak unfold here as we're now seeing baseball-sized hail, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and tornado possible tag on a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Jones and Millette counties. And this is in effect for almost an hour and a half, guys. So we've got, again, a very long night ahead of us. And this storm is not showing any signs of weakening. If anything, it's only strengthening. So, again, if you're in this area, we need you to get to shelter immediately. And that newest reflectivity scan is absolutely ridiculous. So again, Okoton, Murdo, Draper, Bad Nation, Westover. Get to your safe spot. The Dakotas could have went enhanced, but I don't think it should have. I like how they kept it as a slight with a hatched risk. But, man. Again, extremely intense storm here. This is the kind of storm that up here in South Dakota you may only see a few times in your entire life. So, again, there is some inflow here. Again, this is a particularly dangerous situation, and we need you to get to shelter. Again, this is a very destructive storm. And now we have a tornado warning for it. So we do have a tornado warning just issued. This is for portions of southwestern Jones County. If you're in this tornado warning, you need to seek shelter immediately. You should already be in your safe spot. But Westover, you need to get to shelter, preferably underground. If you can't get underground, get into an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of there. This is a very dangerous storm here. Once again, not only potentially producing a tornado now, but also very destructive winds and very large hail as well. Sorry for all the background noise. Will Southwest Indiana get anything tonight? Yes. Yes, Southwest Indiana definitely has a shot at some strong to severe storms. We do have a mesoscale discussion out for that area right now, talking about the potential for a severe thunderstorm watch over the next the next hour or so. So we'll see if they issue that. Again, sorry about that, the background noise. Gotta update the title here. Again, a very strong storm now, impacting areas like Okoton, South Dakota. If you're just now joining us, we'd have a tornado warning in effect for portions of southwestern Jones County. So if you're in this area, we need you to move to an interior room, all right, a room in the middle of your house on the lowest floor of a building. If you have a basement, you need to go there. If you have a storm shelter, you need to go there. Again, this is one of the most dangerous storms that you'll see in your area if you're up here right now in South Dakota, obviously. Stupid printer, sorry. But again, this is a very dangerous storm. Even if we don't see a tornado out of this, again, we could be seeing up to baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. So again, we need you to get to your safe spot right now. Again, Okoton, you need to get to your safe spot if you're not already there. Murdo, go. Westover, go. Draper, go. But yeah, Sim, I mean, the threat for you would likely be over the next couple of hours here in southwestern Indiana. Probably not couple of hours, but like 10 p.m. to midnight is the time frame I'd be watching for southwest Indiana. So again, this is an extremely dangerous situation. If you are in southern Jones County right now, really anywhere in southern or central Jones County, down towards Mullet County, however you pronounce that. Again, 78 dBz storm over a major interstate is not what you want to see. Again, this is a very dangerous storm, an incredibly dangerous storm. Again, one that you don't see out here in this area very often. Again, this is just insane. What's going on? Sorry, the severe warning counter I just realized is broken. The little 5 was pushed back into the wall there. But, again, I cannot believe how strong this storm has managed to get. This exceeded all my expectations for South Dakota today in terms of a hail, wind, and tornado threat. I mean, the wind's probably the least crazy part. 70-mile-an-hour winds isn't anything insane. But it's still enough to cause significant damage. So, again, you need to get to your safe spot if you're out here. Again, tornado warning now for southwestern Jones County, and parts of south central Jones County as well. For Westover, Westover's a little spot here at the intersection of County Road S7 and County Road S6. We got some homes here, so again, you need to get to your safe spot. This includes portions of the White River. Again, this is a deadly storm, and we're already seeing reports of golf ball-sized hail breaking windows on houses as of 7 minutes ago in Okoton. And again, that was 7 minutes ago. I mean, that's it's crazy. Again, we could have up to baseball-sized hail associated with this severe thunderstorm, so we need you to get to your tornado safe spot, because you're also under a tornado warning. This is a storm that has an all hazards in play kind of setup here. It's crazy. So let's briefly go back to some of our storms here in Georgia. While we're waiting for our next radar scan up into South Dakota. Our storm with the tornado possible tag here in Georgia isn't looking like anything too crazy at this point. So nothing too much to worry about there in terms of an actual tornado threat, but we could still see damaging winds and large hail there. But again, our main focus needs to be in South Dakota, obviously, because this is an incredibly dangerous storm. And unfortunately, our radar coverage on it is terrible. Very terrible. Because this area, you know, obviously it's in the mountains. Not a lot of people live out here. This area doesn't really see severe weather too often, so it's not like they have to have radar sites out here. It's not like super, necessary, but... Anyway, severe thunderstorm warning now for portions of southeastern Perkins County, quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Floyd, Gordon, Polk, and Bartow counties in Georgia. So if you're in any of those counties we just listed, make sure that you are getting indoors immediately. But again, our main focus right now is on the the Jones-Millette County line. As a tornado warning now in effect, 4 parts of the Highway 83 corridor here. What's up, Gooseman? Again, incredibly large hail with this storm, a possible tornado as well, and 70-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. This is one of those storms that, again, you're going to remember for a long time. Again, it's already had reports of smashing windows. And now it looks even more impressive than when it did that, so... Again, I cannot stress this enough. If you are anywhere in these severe thunderstorm warnings, or the tornado warning polygon here, you need to get to your safe spot immediately. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. That's going to be for portions of Ward County in North Dakota. This is for Burlington and Minot as well as Surrey. So if you're in this area, you need to be getting indoors and away from windows immediately. If you're in Minot, you have time. Bring your car inside, bring your pets inside. If you're in or around Minot. But if you're in like Drady or Hesnall or some of the less populated areas in this warning polygon, you should probably just get inside and away from windows now. It's not worth risking it. So again, if you're just now tuning in, very dangerous storm along the Jones-Millette County line in South Dakota. We have baseball-sized hail, 70-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts, and a possible tornado occurring with this storm right now. So if you're in this area, we need you to be in that tornado safe spot, preferably underground. If you can't get underground, get into an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, like a bathroom. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I mean, we could see a rain-wrapped tornado out of this, so don't go outside and try to look for this thing. Again, we're looking very high up into the atmosphere to see this, but that is a very impressive velocity couplet if I've ever seen one. And now we have a new tornado warning. That's an extension. This now goes out for portions of northeastern Millette County. So if you're included in this tornado warning, you need to seek shelter immediately. That does include Bad Nation. Get to your safe spot now. Dang it. Again, very insane stuff going on right now, guys. Again, very stressful for a lot of people, probably. Again, if you know anybody in this area, you gotta give them a call or text, make sure that they're doing okay. Again, this is a very dangerous storm right now, guys. Again, this is one of the bigger storms that we've covered in a while on this channel. So, again, if you're out here, don't even think about it. Just get to your safe spot. Again, we've had time to, heed the warnings and everything, so there's no excuse as to why people shouldn't be in their safe spot right now out here. Baseball-sized hail, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and a possible tornado are occurring with this storm. If you haven't already, you need to get to shelter. If you're in a mobile home, you need to evacuate, find a more substantial area to go. If you can't find a more substantial area, lie flat in a ditch. That's a last resort move, but it's better to be in a ditch than to be in a car or in a mobile home. So just go now. Again, we're looking very high up into the atmosphere here, but very impressive velocity couplet. This is contaminated back here, but... Again, if we do have a tornado right now, it'd be located right off to the west of this road here. It doesn't even have a name. Again, we are in... luckily, we're in one of the most rural spots in America right now. But soon this will be approaching Highway 83 near Westover. Luckily, Westover's not really a town either, so... Again, you need to get to that safe spot. Yeah, I mean, this could be on the ground. Again, I doubt it, but it could be. We just don't have any evidence right now, so... Can't say that it is. Fortunately, we didn't have a lot of storm chasers today positioning in the Dakotas because everybody was focused on the Midwest Ohio Valley risk because we thought this was going to be the big one. Speaking of which, some of our storms here in the Midwest are trying to get going. They're not getting going as quick as we thought they would, though. Again, by now we were expecting to already have some supercells out here, and at the worst, we have some baby little thunder showers, so luckily, these storms are taking their time. Hopefully they just don't develop at all. There is a small chance that that happens, but again, we cannot, I'm glad they're not happening right now, because we would not be able to cover this all at once if they were, and they were serious, like up in the Dakotas. Soundings right now support a brief spin-up threat. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. So again, right now this storm is in southern Jones County, entering Millette County as we speak. Right along the county line there, that's where everything is. The rotation, the hail's starting to get to that area. Again, if we do have a tornado right now, it'd be located right over this unnamed road. New severe thunderstorm warning has been issued, by the way, for Alexander City, Alabama, down towards Dadeville. So if you're in that area, make sure you're moving indoors. Looks like a big-time damaging wind threat to me. 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts could occur with that storm. But again, our main focus needs to be on southern South Dakota. Again, if we do have a tornado, it'd be somewhere in that mess. But then again, this radar site's saying it'd be a little further north. This one's probably a little more accurate. It's a little closer. But be right in there to the west of Highway 83, northwest of Westover. I know I'm saying west a lot, but... and we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now. That's actually going to be in effect for parts of Maryland. For Severna Park, south of Baltimore, northwestern Anne Arundel County, and northeastern Prince George's County in central Maryland. 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts could be occurring with that storm. It's going to be approaching Annapolis eventually, but right now it's not quite there yet. Should go just to the north of downtown Annapolis, though, luckily. So again, if you're just now tuning in, we do have a tornado warning now in effect for portions of Jones and Millette counties in South Dakota. If you're in this area, we need you to seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building and away from windows. The storm is also capable of producing baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. So you need to take cover now. Once more. Just to repeat it over and over again, you know? We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. We have a couple of new severe thunderstorm warnings now in effect. one of which being for portions of southwest Georgia, the other one being in effect for portions of northwest Georgia. We can actually get a live look at that storm there in northwest Georgia from the Cherokee County Fire Station number 12. Look at those skies, man. That's ominous. Again, that's what a severe thunderstorm looks like. I mean, nothing much else to say. 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts could be occurring with that storm. Just look out for that. Make sure you're getting indoors immediately. Yeah, definitely could be a long night for folks in the Ohio Valley. Yo, did you see that? Again, we're looking very high up into the atmosphere here, guys, but we do have significant rotation, no matter what way you split it. Again, this is in, unfortunately, a very bad radar hole. Look at all these orange polygons there in Georgia and Alabama. Those are all severe thunderstorm warnings there, so obviously you gotta look out for that. I knew it was gonna do that. I need to just disable the hotkeys. Okay. So that issue shouldn't have anymore. But again, if you're just not tuning in, we are watching a tornado-warned storm in south-central South Dakota. This storm is also capable of producing baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. So if you're in this area, you need to seek shelter immediately. This is south of Murdo at this point. And Murdo's like the only town that we actually have out in this area that I can reference. The only one that's actually a town. Murdo and Draper. But, yeah. I guess Okoton's a little bit of a town. So again, we're watching some of these storms trying to get going in the Midwest, but they're not really impressing me that much, so that's good. New severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for portions of eastern Alabama. So again, very dangerous storm there. Getting hook echo and everything. Again, I know it's kind of confusing because we're looking so high into the atmosphere here, but definitely got something going on. So again, there's your area of rotation. Again, it's not nearly as strong as it looks, but it probably is pretty strong. Again, strong enough here to prompt a tornado warning from the National Weather Service. So if you're in this area, we need you to seek shelter immediately. But again, as of right now, luckily it doesn't look like we have any ongoing tornadoes. Again, all of our storm chasers here have positioned into the Midwest, so unfortunately we don't have anybody to look at this storm here in the Dakota, in South Dakota. And there's not even like a lot of trained spotters out here, so yeah. Dakotas are pretty empty. Again, this is very high up into the atmosphere we're looking, guys, but that's just crazy. Wow. Look at that spike. Hail spike. Again, it's all glitchy, but that is a hail spike. That was a weird noise I just made. I'm so sorry. What is going on? Like, what is this? Again, our actual rotation, it looks like, is actually still back here south of Murdo. Condense the severe warning. It's still for baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds, though. Yeah, real. Yeah, I mean, you could play a devious trick on somebody with this. El Reno times 10, for real. So let's check out some of our Georgia storms here. Again, the reason I'm not referencing them is because they're kind of all the same. They're just a little bit of a damaging wind threat. Some are broadly rotating. Again, new severe thunderstorm warning here for southeast side of Bismarck, North Dakota. Golf ball sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So if you're in that area, make sure you get indoors and away from windows immediately. Again, this is still a massive hailstorm, by the way. And we're still easily saying up to baseball-sized hail with this storm here. Give me just a second here. I'm going to look up something real quick. Again, if you're just now tuning in, we're watching this tornado warning storm along the Jones-Millette County line here in South Dakota. Saying baseball-sized hail, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and a possible tornado with this storm. So if you're in this area, we need you to seek shelter immediately. On the lowest floor of a sturdy building and away from windows. Just a second here. Again, sorry, just a second here. And, yep, so what I was looking up, for anybody curious, is this. This is breaking. This came out 2 hours ago, so I don't know if it's news at this point, but this is definitely crazy. So, Elkhorn Tornado has officially been upgraded to an EF4 after months of being an EF3. Give me just a second here. I mean, I'd call it the first EF4 of the year, not the latest one, because it happened obviously first. Just because the information was changed doesn't mean it happened last. The information just came out last. That's a way to look at it. So again, still watching this area of rotation here. Wherever it is. Actually, it looks like that's our rotation, south of Murdo. About to cross Highway 83. It's moving very slowly. This storm in general is. No, you're good, you're good. Alright, it looks to me like the hail threat's actually decreasing with this storm, but you need to stay in that tornado safe spot, obviously, because you're still under a tornado warning. And you're also seeing 70-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts, potentially, with that storm there, so look out for that, obviously. Stay in that shelter. Whatever you're using. Yeah, Elkhorn was insanity. Obviously. Just everything about it. How quickly it popped up, how strong it was, how wide it was. Everything is just crazy. The environment it happened in. Like, obviously it was conducive for strong tornadoes, but it wasn't, like, insane. It wasn't off the charts. Like, Barnsdall, we were expecting to happen because it was an incredibly tornado-fueled environment. But Elkhorn, I mean, again, the environment supported strong tornadoes, but it wasn't guaranteeing them, you know? And it definitely wasn't guaranteeing tornadoes that strong of EF4 intensity. Again, somehow nobody died in it, luckily. But there were 4 injuries, unfortunately. Yeah, the radar imagery, the footage of it, everything. And I'm glad I waited to start working on my Elkhorn documentary. Because I was just procrastinating it. But I'm glad that I did now. Yeah, the environment definitely overperformed. There's no doubt about that. So, again, tornado warning now for portions of northeastern Millette County. At this point, the storm is out of Jones County. If you're in Jones County, you're good. It may still be raining, obviously, but the worst of it is going to now be in portions of Millette County near Bad Nation. Again, we're looking so high up into the atmosphere to see all this, so it's hard to tell what's real and what's what, you know, but anyway. Again, this is our supercell. There's your inflow, your hook. Looks like we even have a rear flank downdraft now that we're able to see it a little bit more clearly. We may have some RFD surge in there. Well, but it's not the SPC's fault, you know. I 100% agreed with their 10% hatch at the time. Again, nobody expected that, obviously. So, anyway. Alrighty. At this point, they should really downgrade the severe thunderstorm warning. The storm's definitely no longer packing baseball-sized hail if it was at one point. But that's still an incredibly large hailstorm. That maxed out vertically integrated liquid signatures about 15 miles wide. We could have a 15-mile swath here of quarter-sized hail or greater. That was when it was over the Jones-Millette County line. Now it's closer, really, almost fully in Millette County at this point. New severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Jones County because the severe warning up here expired. They removed it and they issued a new one, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, ping pong bowl sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. So again, not quite the beast that it was, luckily, but it's still a pretty intense storm. But considering it's really not had any changes since this stream started, other than its weakening trend, we can probably call that sell done. Not completely done, obviously, but I think it's going to weaken and weaken. I don't think it's going to strengthen ever again. I mean, just because it looked as bad as Elkhorn doesn't mean it was. Was Moore really a 10% SIG? But the parameters overall that day were higher. I know it was still in the 10% area, but, I mean, I didn't know that, but now I know that is what I'm saying. I know it's still in the 10% area, but the parameters were higher. Elkhorn, the highest there was in that day, was 10% hatched. Yeah, again, remember, guys, tornadoes are based on how much damage they do, not the recorded wind speeds, not the radar imagery, nothing else. It's all about the damage that they do. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If a 500-mile-per-hour tornado touched down in an open field, I don't care how high the wind speeds were, it's an EF0 if it didn't do any damage. Yes. Sorry. I know that was unexpected. New severe thunderstorm warning now has been issued. Where's that going out for? Lemoore County, North Dakota, quarter-sized hail. That's not the new one. I think it's doing its little disappearing trick. Just trying to be funny, huh? Okay. Let's go ahead and get the warning counter updated here while we have a little bit of a break going on. Feels so nice to be able to do that without the layout changing over and over again. So, again, we're now watching a tornado warning in effect for parts of northeastern Millette County. So, if you're in this area, we need you to seek shelter. Yeah, I really doubt Minden's going to get upgraded. There are way more tornadoes that I would say have a chance of getting upgraded from this year before Minden. Not to an EF4, but yeah, now Minden's probably the closest to being an EF4. Other that or the Western Kentucky one from this year. Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. So again, we're watching for storm initiation here in the Midwest, but it's just not happening. So if that just doesn't happen, obviously that would be great. But I don't know. It's very unlikely that we don't see anything at all at this point. New mesoscale discussion, by the way. The favorable near-term corridor for continued large hail and damaging wind risk will be across portions, of south central South Dakota, and extreme north central Nebraska, like Valentine Spring View northward. So, there's that. It didn't say anything about tornadoes, which is interesting. That was 22 minutes ago that came out. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow on this. Yeah, a lot of the models were saying that by now we'd at least have some supercells popping up. Let's look at the HRRR here. So yeah, the HRRR is still saying things are going to happen. They're just pushing it back a little bit. Kind of later into the evening. It's probably not going to happen here in Indianapolis. I've seen this movie before. I think Indianapolis will get some storms. In the early nighttime hours to the midnight kind of hour there. I wouldn't rule out some storms in Indianapolis. I'm only saying out to midnight because, again, storms are being a little bit slower than we expected, so that may push the entire track and everything behind by an hour or two. Yeah, the amount of supercells firing in the slide definitely, it is interesting. Again, we've only been covering the one, but there are several more in the Dakotas and Nebraska there. Mainly in Dakotas, not really in Nebraska. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably see stuff in the Midwest. Again, it would be great if we just didn't, but still think damaging winds at the very least are going to happen, again, across parts of the Ohio River Valley here, so watch for that. Mother Nature waits for nobody. Okay. Convection's getting going a little faster here in kind of east central / southeastern Illinois. It's starting to pick up. Again, it's still nothing crazy though, mostly just some showers. Again, by this point we were expecting to have at least a couple of supercells out there in that region, but it's being a little slower than originally expected, which is not great because, again, that's just, it doesn't mean storms aren't going to develop. It just means it's going to be behind by an hour or two, which means there's going to be more people sleeping whenever these storms hit them. So, again, you need to make sure that you have multiple ways to receive alerts if you plan on going to bed early here in the Ohio Valley, or if you plan on going to bed at all, really, because, I mean, by the time it reaches the Ohio River, it's already going to be at least midnight, maybe even 1 or 2. So, again, highly recommend that you have multiple ways to receive alerts on hand, obviously. Your favorite YouTuber never stops fear-mongering? I don't know if I've ever really fear-mongered. There were definitely times where I've over-exaggerated a situation in terms of the weather, but I don't know if I've ever fear-mongered, per se. I don't think we'll get a 5% tour tomorrow. I think they're going to leave it at a 2%. In fact, NATOcast has an interesting outlook. Let me pull that up. By the way, new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued now. That's going to be to the north of Atlanta for a storm near Kensaw and Cartersville here. This is from Systems Atlanta on the greater northern side of Atlanta there. So, let's see here. The Day 2 outlook. Once again, NATOcast has 4 different 2% out for tomorrow. They got one stretching out for portions of the upper Midwest. They got one on the Nebraska-South Dakota state line. They got one across parts of North Dakota, and they got one down towards the Kentucky-Tennessee state line. By the way, NATOCast's newest outlook here has the 10% risk back in place now for South Central Indiana, the tiny one. It was gone for a little bit, but it's back. They also expanded the 5% risk a little bit further west, so NATOcast is not losing confidence that we're going to see something here, and I'm not either, honestly. Like, if we don't get storms in the next 2 or 3 hours, then obviously we're probably not going to end up seeing anything. But I don't think that we're out of the woods yet. I think things are going to pop up. It's just going to be a little late. But again, that could end up making things a lot worse. Oh, they complain about it. Okay. I mean, it is a thing to complain about. Yeah, so, again, some of these little showers here are evolving a little quicker now in southern Illinois and eastern Illinois, so we'll kind of watch those. Again, those are kind of going to track in the general east-southeast direction, kind of. So, again, this little circle here, this little corridor in east-central and southeast Illinois needs to be on the lookout for the next couple of hours here, I'd say. As things are getting going. They are. Again, it was a little later than we expected, but they are getting going. So, I think at this point, we're probably good to end off this live stream. We will have one final live stream tonight to actually cover the Ohio Valley system here. So, if you guys did enjoy, please do be sure to like and subscribe. We'll end things off with that new severe thunderstorm warning just issued, going out for Carson County in South Dakota. So, again, thank you all for tuning in this live stream. We will be back live later tonight, so make sure to tune in the next few hours, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.